fun recreation through the exploration of this wonderful topic that had me looking a second time. I thought I saw aptitude, the attitude of happiness. I never saw a topic like that before, and I know it will be very much interesting. The attitude of happiness reminds us that true happiness does not solely depends on external situations, people or possessions, but rather on the quality of our inner state and the way we choose to respond to life circumstances. I know, Sister Subita, this is not the first time you were here with us. It's not the first time you're joining us, and I would like to welcome you back to another session of this Monday's Night Insightful session. And I remember the takeaway from the last discussion where you talk about the clutter in the mind, but not only the mind, but also the environment. I enjoyed that. So welcome to this session and over to you.
Om Shanti, everyone. Greetings of peace, greetings of love. A very good evening to all of you. And thank you, Sherry, for that wonderful introduction. I'm really humbled when I think about or I hear all these things, but I'm also very excited to see all of you this evening. Well, here we are going to be talking about happiness. And right now, when we take a pause and think about what is happening in our world, the word happiness or the feeling of happiness or the emotion of happiness is kind of questionable. You know, how can we be happy when so much of sorrow and pain and distress is happening all around us? Every direction we turn, you know, we see something that is so challenging to this word happiness. Yet if you really look at it, for some of us, we are thinking, how can people kill people? How is that possible? But for some people, maybe that is giving them happiness. I was thinking, what a strange world we are living in. People get happiness out of inflicting sorrow and pain onto the other. It really makes us ask ourselves, what has happened to humanity? Where we find joy, some of us, some people, find joy in inflicting pain. Isn't that something? Because if they didn't get some satisfaction when they inflict pain, they wouldn't do it, right? Why do we do what we do? It's because we get something out of it, right? Something that we want. We would do anything to get it, even if it comes to inflicting pain and sorrow on our fellow human. We will do it because I want that thing so badly. So I'll do it because I feel if I get it, I will be happy. And if it takes destroying somebody, I'll do it. That's how people are today. And then there's the rest of us who will think 100 times before we inflict pain on somebody else. Even if we want that thing, but we will think, no. If I have to inflict pain to get it, it means that pain will come back to me. And so we would refrain from doing it, from pursuing that path. And we will look for a different path. So when we talk about this attitude of happiness, first we need to define what is attitude. Then we need to define what is happiness. And then we're going to put the two together. And then we're going to have the attitude of happiness. So I'm really happy to be with all of you today. And I hope you're happy. Because I think if you're happy, then those of you who can turn your camera on, you will do so. Is there anyone else other than these few who can turn on their camera? Because I would like that we do a little fun thing among ourselves. So whoever can turn your camera on, no pressure, because maybe you are wherever you are, and you might not be able to turn on your camera, but nevertheless, we're gonna have a little fun, right? Because we're here to talk about happiness, and we can't be happy, we can't talk about happiness if we don't have some fun also. Do you agree? Agree? Everyone?
Agree.
Okay.
Yes,
Which
agree.
means that, you know, your friends who are not turning on their camera, putting the pressure on those of you whose cameras are on. But never mind, you will enjoy this. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna ask a couple of questions, some fun questions, and who wants to answer, raise your hand first, because I can see all of you on the screen, okay? So who wants to, who has an answer, raise your hand. And the first person to raise his or her hand, I will give you the chance to answer. I hope you can unmute yourself. So are you ready for this little fun? There's only a few questions, it's not many, to get us a little warmed up. So we can go into talking more about happiness. Oops, okay. Ready? Ready?
We're
All right.
Ready.
Ready, good. Okay. Why are you here today? Who's raising their hand? Okay, somebody in the classroom is raising their hand. I can't see faces. So is it possible for you to speak from where you are? Why are you here today? Will you change your mind? Okay, there.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here today because I enjoy it. I enjoy the atmosphere, the surroundings. It's me time. So I look forward to coming here every Monday, have some time for myself.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Very good. See how easy that was? Okay. Now, ready for the next question? Next question. What makes you happy? Okay, Gainda, unmute yourself and tell us what makes you happy.
Shanti. My happiness comes from being peace of mind and connected to Baba. You know, I have that joy when I'm having that peace of mind. And the only way I can have the peace of mind is when I'm connected to Baba and that unlimited love, the love and the peace give me happiness.
Okay, I'm not sure how many of you know what Baba means. It's a loving word that we use for the Supreme Being. So out of great love, we refer to that Supreme One as a parent. Good, thank you, Ginda. Ready for the next one? I wish the rest of you can open your camera. Okay, here goes. If you were a great leader, what one virtue do you think you would need to have to be that great leader? If you were a great leader, what one virtue do you think you would need to have to be that great leader? If those of you who cannot speak, put your camera on. If you want to write in the chat, please do so also. Okay. What virtue do you think is needed if you want to be a great leader? No volunteers? Let's get somebody else laying down. No volunteers? In the room? Okay, in the classroom?
We have somebody in the crowd saying love.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay, love. Okay. And what are you saying?
I am saying truth.
Truth. Okay. To be truthful, be transparent, then, in other words. Thank you. Very good. Is this going okay?
Yes.
Okay. Next question. If you were given a chance to meet a great personality of the world, who would that personality be and why? Oh my gosh, I thought all hands would have gone up. If you were given a chance to meet a great personality, a great person in this world, who would that person be and why? Sherry, you raised your hand earlier. Take it away.
Okay. Well, this month, Brahma Kumaris, we are observing and recognizing the contribution of a very great person. We call her Mama. For those of you who are not Brahmins, you may not know or understand, but I've heard so much about her. I've read some, and to the point where I would like to inculcate some of our virtues, those of patience, tolerance, and this non-judgmental attitude that she had towards anyone. She never judged anyone, to treat everyone equally. And you could not discern, based on the information that we got, whether she was angry with anyone. That is a person that I would like to meet, because it's not easy to be like that. So grounded, so calm, and yet, so loving. So that is one person. There are others, but that is just one. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Mama, as she's referring to, Sherry's referring to, is the first administrative head that the founder father put the institution in her hands. She was the first admin head of the Brahma Kumaris. So she led the Brahma Kumaris for many years before she passed in 1964. So thank you, Sherry. And I see some nice qualities here showed up on chat. My qualities of a great leader: integrity, humility, honesty, broad-minded compassion. That's very nice. And last question. When you leave a room, you're in a gathering, you're in the midst of people, you're in a gathering, and you leave that room, what would you like to be remembered for? Or what would you like to be known for? When somebody mentions your name, what would you like them to remember you for? Joy imparted, yes. Hmm?
I'm a very happy person.
You're a
Or let
happy
me
person,
feel the
kind,
happiness with it.
that they make us happy. That person makes us happy, or is a happy person. Okay. My kindness, yes. Mm-hmm. What would you like others to remember you for? A good listener, good. Yes. Something to think about, right? Some of us, when we leave the room, people say, thank God. Would you like them to remember you like that? Or when you leave the room, they say, oh, what a light. Or when you enter a room, what a light they brought. As in contrast to when you enter a room, people say, oh no, look who has come. right? Big difference, no? And all of these things contribute to our happiness, you know? It's amazing. The little things that happen day to day and the little things that we do is what actually create the happiness in our life. Yes, someone is saying bringing a smile on everyone's face. So I hope this evening, by the time we all finish here, we are leaving with big smiles and lightness in your heart. So coming back to the attitude of happiness. Thank you all very much for your contribution. I hope you all like that little activity to stimulate your mind, because now I feel you might be a little bit more alert in terms of mind present. So what is attitude? You know, attitude is such a subtle thing that you can't see it so easily, right? But it manifests through our body language.
Action.
Not even action. It hasn't even gone to action yet. Just my body language. You know, how I sit, how I roll my eyes when somebody's saying something I don't like, or whatever. A frown on the face. You know, anything. The way we turn ourselves because I don't want to listen. You know, our body language tells so much. The way we sit like this, right? So many things. Observe yourself. Because whatever is happening on a deeper level gets manifested through our body, through our face especially. So attitude is a very, very subtle thing. It's actually our mindset that comes through without us even knowing it. The way we walk, all of these things is our attitude. And you know, when we're angry, what happens? How we walk, how we move, how we do things. Very noisy, very chaotic. Our energy is also very chaotic. We disturb everything around us. And when we are calm, we do things calmly also. So whatever is going on a deeper level, it gets expressed first in our attitude. So actually, the attitude depends a lot upon the awareness that we are having. Whatever it is, my awareness is occupied with, or wherever it's coming from, that's the attitude I will have. That's the mindset I will have. That attitude will then determine the way we see everything and everyone. And the way we see life, situation, people, even ourselves, that's the choice I will make as to the words I speak or not speak. Sometimes we don't have to say anything, you know, and everybody knows, you know. I'll give a really good example. As children growing up, many of you probably because you are in the older generation, what do we always make a fun out of when, now that we've grown up and we look back? We always make fun, not in a negative way, but you know, it sounds funny now when we talk about the look Oh, I'm so sorry. Mm-mm. I'm sorry. I think they were doing some work outside. Yes, you know, the look, as soon as our parents give us a look, don't you have to look at us and we know what that look means, right? We know that look means they're happy with us, or the look means you have to leave the room. The look means you wait until we reach home, whatever it might be, right? So they don't have to say anything, but just the look, and we know what a look means. So something like that. Now that's on a, on the frustrating side, right? But the look could be a look of love. When somebody looks at you with so, like when a mother would look at a newborn baby with so much love, that baby knows. The mother doesn't even have to say anything. And even if the baby looks back with so much love, the baby can't speak. The mother might be saying all kinds of sweet things. But when the baby looks back with such love, but the baby can't speak at that time, right? Well, how does the parent feel? So attitude, vision, we then determine the actions, the choices we make, whether we speak or not speak, and the kind of actions we do. Right? So awareness will determine our attitude. Attitude determine our vision, which then determine the choices we make, whether to speak or not to speak, whether to do or not to do. And if I'm going to do, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? And if I'm going to speak, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? And even if I'm not going to say anything, still, what am I going to do? And those things then define whether I'm going to be happy or not happy. I have that choice right there and then. I can make that choice. Because if my attitude are going to determine those things, then what would I like my attitude to be? What is the choice I'm going to make at this moment? I can choose to be miserable, and so my behavior will be accordingly, or reaction or response or whatever. Or I can choose to be happy and shift the awareness internally. Are you following? Are you following? Are you following?
Yes.
Not if you are.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we are.
Okay, it's good. Thank you. Because on Zoom is a little difficult, no? We have to kind of check in with each other. So this attitude of happiness will then be, like a moment-to-moment choice. So I see happiness. Many times people say happiness is a destination. When I get this, I will be happy. When this happens, I will be happy. When something happens, then happiness is the outcome or the destination. In certain things, yes. Because if you want to pass your exam and you're going to be happy, you have to study. So if you study and you pass, you're happy. So obviously that's the outcome of your studies. Or you work very hard at your job and you get a promotion, you're happy. It's the outcome. But if you didn't work very hard, you wouldn't have deserved the promotion. So yes, in some cases, happiness is kind of the outcome, right? But in most cases, happiness is a moment by moment choice that we have to make, because in between working hard and the promotion, how many things did happen on the way? In trying to get the promotion, again, did I destroy somebody's reputation unnecessarily? Right? Did I knock out people because they're in my way, in my pursuit of happiness? So I will get the happiness because I got the promotion. But in the process, I've hurt so many people along the way. So how will I enjoy that promotion when I finally get it? Who is going to be happy with me? Right? So more than the outcome, happiness is a choice that we have to make moment by moment. Those small actions will then determine the bigger picture. Right? So as much as happiness is supposed to make us happy, smiling, joyful, it doesn't come by that easily, unfortunately. We have to put in some effort into it. Now, as much as happiness or joy is a natural, innate quality of the soul, but because we have spent a lot of our time, our life, looking for happiness outside of ourselves, we have lost connection with the source of happiness, which is right within ourselves. And we have become so accustomed or dependent on external factors to make us happy that we don't even know how to go back and trust ourselves, that we're going to make the right choices internally, or that we deserve to be happy. What do you think? Do you deserve to be happy? Yes?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes,
So why aren't
all
we
the
doing it for
time, all the
ourselves?
time.
Right. We deserve to be happy. Because especially that happiness is our innate nature. We don't have to wait on anybody to do anything for us. If you're waiting for love, you can love your own self. If you're waiting for a kind word, you can offer your own self that kind word. Right? You don't have to wait for somebody to do that for you. We can do it for ourselves. So I want to share with you a few tips on some of the things that I feel would help us in our pursuit of happiness. You know, when we are peaceful internally and we feel stable inside, how do you feel? Good. Happy, no? Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? So that's all it takes. It's to keep ourselves like that. Then we'll be happy. But before I share some tips with you, I want to ask you 2 questions for you to think about. When you feel ready to answer, whoever would like to share, you can share. And the first question is, what does happiness feel like? What does happiness feel like?
Om
Who-
Shanti.
Yes.
Words are not enough to describe that feelings of happiness. I can say a few words, but
Say
it's not enough. Joyful, peaceful, loveful, but I think it's not enough.
Mhm. Okay. What does thank you, Sylvie. What else does happiness feel like?
Ice cream.
Say again, Hewlin.
It feels like ice cream and you're joyful and you're happy. Just getting
You feel
that
like screaming? Wonderful.
ice cream. Just feel
You feel like jumping up for joy. Okay. And somebody wrote in the chat, expansive light, inclusive, dynamic, light as a feather. Wonderful, light and easy. Wonderful. Think about it some more. We're going to move on. But these are kind of questions you ask yourself. What does happiness feel like when you are happy? Right? So think about it more. When people tell you a kind word, how do you feel?
Right.
Even though you're saying loveful, but what is love? No, that's another question. What is love?
Mhm.
Right?
what
So
about
you need to
receiving
pin it down.
approval?
Pin it down, the simple little things. Somebody actually showed you, in that moment of need, they lend a hand of cooperation. And we don't have to do a lot, isn't it? How appreciative we are at that time. Right? So what does happiness feel like? And the other question is, which might be easier, what does unhappiness feel like? What does unhappiness feel like? Who would like to speak? Cry. What else does unhappiness feel like?
Sorrowful.
Sorrowful. What else?
Heavy, painful,
Heavy. Yes. Dark.
painful,
Painful. Hopeless.
Sad,
Sorry?
sad,
Sad.
I didn't get that.
Sad.
S-A.
sadness,
Sad. Acha, yes, sad. Yes, yes. No? Sorrow. No? Unhappiness.
Drawn down,
Drawn down.
drained.
Yes, drained. Yes. Hopeless. And what does happiness? Stuck. Yes, that's a good one. Stuck. And what does happiness feel like?
when the spirit is up,
Right. Exactly.
satisfied.
Satisfied. Yes. And even mentioning the words, what do those words, did they bring a shift inside?
Yes,
When we talk about cry, dark, sad, pain, and then we talk about light, easy, uplifting, right? Again, awareness, attitude,
When you're happy, you're very content. You feel
very
so
positive.
content. Yes, very
Yes,
content.
very good, very good. So I'm asking these questions and they don't finish here. These are for you to take home and ponder on some more. And okay, like I mentioned, it's a moment by moment choice, right, that we have. Because as you know, things don't last forever, right? Something is happening now, this very moment. 1 second, 2 seconds after, are we in the same spot? No. Even though this session is going on for 1 hour, But 1 hour went by, right? We're not in the same spot. So things are changing. Time is moving all the time. What am I doing at every moment? And so we call that flow. Keep the energy flowing. Don't get stuck. And we do that all the time. Something happened, 50 minutes later, half an hour later, 1 day later, 5 days later, we're still there. 5 days went by, but we're still there. 10 years went by and we're still there. Now, it's not that we're denying it happened. It's not that we're pretending it didn't happen. Right? But why am I allowing myself to get stuck in it? I need to learn and grow and move on. Keep moving forward. Right? And when we do that and we flow, then that's where the lightness and the easiness comes. So then the joy will come. Right? What makes the lotus flower such a special flower?
Detached and loving.
Yeah, yeah. And where is it living? In the murk. But it's not allowing itself to get caught in to get stuck in the stuff, right? It allowed itself to rise up. So let the energy keep flowing. Another one is to allow yourself to feel gratitude and to appreciate the small things in life. You know, growing up in Guyana, living in Guyana, we don't remember, you know, how fortunate we are that we have that nice warm sunshine 24/7 throughout the year, 365 days a year. And when I came here, I was so homesick to this winter. Oh my gosh. And those days we really used to get some harsh winters. Now it's not so bad. Yes, you can just run outside anytime, do anything you want. And then, oops, you can go outside, yes, but you just can't do anything you want. So you got to, even if you bundle up, but then there is no sunshine, or if the sunshine is there, it's so cold. There are no nice flowers to watch, right? It's dead trees. No, that has its purpose too. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but take time to appreciate the things that are around you, rather than complain about everything that is happening. What about the 1 or 2 nice things that are happening? Right? Or whatever it might be. Look how many people don't have a home right now. As we speak. Right? How many don't even have food to eat as we speak? And they're still bombing each other. Like I said, it seems like they get happiness doing that. So be grateful. Write 1 or 2 things to be grateful for every day. Shift the awareness. The happiness will come. Another thing, engage yourself in giving, generosity, charity. Who is happier, the giver or the receiver?
Giver.
Sure?
I think both the giver and the receiver.
But who is happier? It's the one who gives is happier. Now, this doesn't mean financially giving only. Giving charity could be anything, right? You give of your time, you give of virtues, your goodness, you share. You share anything, food, clothes, whatever it might be, to others who are needed.
Right.
Another one is is a big one. I'm not going to go into the detail today. I don't think we have the time. And that is forgiveness. We talk about being light and easy. But if we're carrying that pain in our hearts, it's very, very difficult to be happy, no matter what we achieve, you know. And I was remembering this story. Those of you from the Hindu background might know. And if you're not from the Hindu background, get somebody to tell you this story of Sudama. Sudama was a good friend of Sri Krishna. And even he was very poor, and Krishna, of course, is God incarnate and very wealthy. He was the king. And even though Krishna blessed him with every aspect of prosperity you can think of, Sudama wasn't happy because he couldn't forgive himself for having done one wrong deed to Sri Krishna. Right? Until he didn't forgive himself, he couldn't enjoy the happiness of heaven. Right? Sri Krishna, of course, that's God. He wouldn't do anything wrong to anybody, right? But he felt, Sudama, that he wronged God, he made a mistake. And until he didn't get that off his chest, forgive himself, he couldn't even enjoy the fruits of his devotion. So forgiveness, whether it's to yourself or to someone else. And another big one is relationships. We're not living alone. As much as we would prefer, I don't want anybody in my life. I'm tired of everybody. Just leave me alone. Me and me alone in the house. That's it. But then we depend on each other no matter how we do, no matter what we say. Right? We are living in a world we are interdependent. We are interrelated. We need each other. Maybe not 24/7, right? But connection is there, no? So what kind of relationships are we having? Is it with mutual respect or is it with attachment? Attachment means expectations and possessiveness and jealousies and so on. Mutual respect means a give and take. I need my space and you need your space, and we respect each other. And it is much more there, but these are just some tips, you know, is when we try to step on each other's toes. I want you to be what I want you to be, then the happiness goes. Right? So what do we need to do in order to support these different areas? Exercise, spend time in nature, practice meditation, and do any form of self-care. Meaning, like, talk to yourself in positive ways. Talk to yourself in positive ways. Practice meditation every day, 2 or 3 times a day, because when we do meditation, we're actually separating ourselves from the outside world, and we're allowing ourselves to feel the truth about who we are and what we are. So we are actually teaching ourselves to generate positive awareness, healthy awareness. That will then bring about the right type of attitude. Our connection with nature also helps us. How many times when people are upset, what they say, I'm going for a drive, I'm going for a walk. You step away from everything. But locking yourself in the bedroom, unfortunately, doesn't do it. A walk in nature would do it. Because nature has a beautiful way of calming the soul and bringing the soul back in alignment. And the other one is exercise. Keep your body fit. Because when your body is fit, the mind also feels fine, feels fit. And when the mind feels fit, then it's easy to shift the awareness. So those were some of the thoughts I had to develop an attitude of happiness. And I will also add this one thing, I just came out from a retreat on the same topic, which I co-facilitated with a few others. And so when Sister Kinnari reminded me, the first thing that came in my mind is attitude of happiness. Because the feedback and the experience of the participants, there were 85 of them that participated in that retreat. And of course, we learned from them too. They shared some really, really wonderful points. The experience and the feedback was so good. I thought, why keep it only there? Let me extend some of that, right, to all of you also. So we can share this energy of happiness. So I will pause here, and if anyone has any questions or any comments, I think somebody, Liz, was asking, how is happiness measured? Again, it is how you feel. It's a feeling that you give yourself every moment by moment. What are you doing? How are you feeling? A situation is happening. How am I doing in this situation? Am I all upset? Am I disturbed? Am I confused? Am I jealous? Am I angry? Or did I take a couple deep breaths, like the meditation, calm the mind? It is not a very pleasant situation, but I was able to breathe deeply, relax, realign. My head is clear. Now my attitude has shifted. I'm ready to deal with this. Now you can measure your happiness. It's for you to measure how well you did.
Shanti, thank you for that. But then you can't really say the giver is happier than the receiver because you don't know.
No, when we say the giver, because when you're really giving and you're giving, when you give money, you have $1 and you give away 5 cents, you have 95 cents, right? And there's nothing you can do about that. But when you give virtues, when you share virtues and good wishes, they multiply within you. That's why you're happier. You may not realize it right away, but it is accumulating within you. That's why people do charity, because when they feel when they do charity, right, God will bless them and it will multiply. Yes, someone in the room wants to ask a question or say something.
I think with all the recent events
and stuff that is happening, I think I find it hard to not, like, I feel almost bad for
Hmm.
being happy. Like I don't know if like I can be happy knowing what's going on elsewhere in the world. Like I feel like us being here, like we have privilege of, and it's sad because we have privilege of time and space and safety, or these basic needs. And people don't have that. People don't have time and these, like we sit here and speak of happiness, and it's
Mm.
how
How
like
is it justified?
not
Am I
just
justified in being happy?
how do you sit and have a conversation about happiness in a war zone?
That's it. Yeah, and
like
that's because we feel happiness is an external factor. It's an external outcome. When there's
how
a war, then I'll be happy. Right?
correct.
Happiness is not an external thing. It's not dependent on an external thing. When the mind is at peace, there is that inner joy that comes from deep inside. Yes, it is tough in a war zone. How can we be happy? And there's one thing I didn't mention, and that is the bigger picture. In the bigger picture, there must be a reason why all of these horrific things are happening. Very painful. But we as human beings, you know this expression, when you can't hear, you got to? You gotta what? Your parents never told you this?
Feel.
If you
Feel.
can't hear, then you will
Feel.
feel. Right? So when we can't hear, Mother Nature telling us, stop exploiting me. Are we listening? No. We still using the plastic. We still dumping everything on the street. We still wasting food. Right? So when the tsunami comes, or the earthquake, or the fire, or whatever, then now when humans inflict pain upon their fellow humans, that's another level. But who knows? No, I'm not saying it is justified. I'm not saying they're doing a right thing. But what goes around comes around. And these are eternal laws of the universe that we can't argue with. And so understanding the bigger picture also allows us to take a deep breath and to do the best I can where I can. Because I am responsible for my happiness and my own peace. And that's another reason why we try our best to serve. You see, it's all the elements. We try our best to serve everyone spiritually, including the political leaders, so that they make better choices. This is why we try to serve the police force, so they stop the corruption. Right? Charity. We have to do what we have to do. And those are the things. So the happiness we're talking about is not throwing a party and having a jump up. That's not the happiness we're talking about. The happiness we're talking about is an inner peace and a calm and a strength and a stability. But when I'm there internally, I can then share that strength and that peace and give hope to someone who is going through a rough time, who is going through a crisis. Look how many people are volunteering to help in the war zones. Now, I'm not saying that those people did the right thing to go bombing up places and killing people. None of that is justified. But if I allow myself to start judging why this one, why that one, then again we are stuck. So then who's going to help who? So again, go in, be calm, be at peace, stay there, stabilize yourself. And then from that place of strength, bring light and hope to those who are in need. Only then things will shift. Does this make more sense to you? Is it better? My sister there in the room, the one who is sharing. You know, it sounds like selfish, but it's not selfish. Now, if we can go knock some sense in the heads of those political leaders, yeah. But it's not so easily done. Their egos are too big. Very big. Unfortunately, very, very big. Otherwise, why would they do something like that? So to knock out the ego of one person, it takes all of us. It takes the strength of all of us, collectively. Right? And when we see people behave like that, is to tell us, I don't want to be in that ego. No. Because if my ego, I allow my ego to get bigger and bigger, I don't know what I will do. Power-driven, lust-driven, greed-driven. That's the ego. And it takes a whole nation to make one political leader wake up. Right? And that's why we have to work together. Okay? All right. Anybody else has anything else they want to share?
I was thinking about what the sister in the room is saying, right? For me, it was very difficult, looking around and seeing the chaos, seeing the killing and so on. But because of radio meditation and the teachings, you find that we would have learned about body consciousness, and we learned the implications of that, of not being soul conscious. It takes time. And when you come to that awareness, then you realize the soul lives on forever. The body perishes, but the soul continues to flourish. So irrespective of what we would see with our physical eyes, this mass destruction, we just have to keep in mind that the soul does not die and that those people's soul will move on and they will continue. So it was hard for me as well to really see
Yes,
those.
it is hard when we look and when we see, you know, people inflicting pain on their fellow people. You know, it's one thing when it's natural, we can somehow
Yeah.
deal with that, but we'll deal with it better. But when it's people destroying people, it's very hard to watch, hear, and so on. And so that's where the spiritual wisdom and the practice of meditation is very important. The wisdom help us to see the bigger meaning of life, and the practice of meditation gives strength. So when I'm there internally, now I can serve, now I can help. But if I am consumed in the sorrow and pain of what's going on and anger, then we can't do it. Then our generosity is not going to work. Okay. I think we would need to close with meditation now.
Yes, if no one else have any
Any-
question, we can close with a meditation.
Anyone else want to say anything?
Yes, sister. I'm Brother Di
brother.
Stefano from Aruba. Thank you very
Yes,
much for
brother.
sharing on observation. The awareness has to be always soul consciousness. The awareness, huh? To start the fundamental of Baba. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Yes, this soul consciousness that you are hearing coming up every so often is awareness of self. Awareness of the self as being more than just this body, but being the light within. So when I'm aware of myself as that light within, and I allow myself to feel my own inner light, and the more I begin to feel my own light, the happier the soul becomes. I'm feeling my own self. I'm feeling my own worth. I'm feeling my own value. Then I can smile. And I'm not smiling because I'm happy bad things are happening to somebody else. I'm smiling because I finally was able to feel my own worth. What a joy that is. When I can feel my own worth, when I feel that joy inside, because I feel my light, I feel my beauty, I see my beauty. Then when I look upon the other, I look upon them, looking at their light also, and share that with them, helping them to uplift their own self-esteem. So let us go into meditation. We have 10 minutes. And during this 10 minutes, let us try to experience what I was just talking about, or what you just heard, about being soul conscious, being aware of ourselves.
I ask a quick question. What is the difference between bliss and happiness? The bliss and happiness, sorry,
Yes.
sister.
Okay. Because the happiness is just recognizing my own beauty, my own worth, I feel that joy. Bliss is when the happiness is coming from something beyond the senses. Right? So bliss is I lift myself beyond the physical, the awareness of the physical, the awareness of having eaten something so tasty, the awareness of having seen something beautiful. I rise beyond all of that. And I'm totally in the awareness of myself, the light, and the supreme light. In that connection, that joy is then called bliss, because it's not dependent on any external factor. Right? Okay, so let us see if we can feel a little blissful, because we're going to go beyond a little bit. Or if not, at least feel that joy. So keeping both feet on the ground. Let us relax ourselves by taking a couple of deep breaths in and out. Keeping your hands on your lap also. You can close your eyes if you wish to. You can leave them open. But just if you're going to open your eyes, look at a blank wall, or you can look down. Look at something that will not distract the mind. So take a couple of deep breaths in. Take a deep breath in. And release. It would be nice not to play any music. Can we take the music off, please? Now take another deep breath in. And release. And as you release, let the body relax. Let all tension in the muscles melt away. Take another deep breath in. And release. And as you watch your breath in and out, let all other sounds of the world fade into the distance. Watching your breath in and out, allow the mind to come to this present moment. And as the mind becomes quiet, take this opportunity to turn inward and to connect with the light that's behind the eyes. And as you connect with that light, remind yourself, I am light. I am light. Allow yourself to feel the energy of your own light emanating out. And it feels so good. Sitting here in the awareness of myself as light, I allow this energy of light, of peace, of calm, to spread throughout my body, filling each cell, each organ with light, with peace. I then remind myself that I'm also a very beautiful being of light, doing the best I can to be that light. I've learned a lot today about happiness, about attitude. And as I reflect in these quiet moments, I consciously choose to allow myself the honor, the privilege to be peaceful, to be joyful, to smile in the face of crisis. Because it's only when I'm in this state of calm and at peace and inner stability can I give strength to myself and to those around me. I also remind myself that I'm not alone. There is the divine source, God, the Almighty One, always available. I turn my attention to that one. And I open my heart to receiving the light of God, giving me the strength and making my light even brighter. So I can share that light with those around me. And now, in the company of that Supreme One, let us turn our attention to this beautiful planet of ours. And if you want to choose a particular area, you can do so. And share with everyone there this energy of peace, this energy of light, hope, and joy. And now take a deep breath in and release as you bring your thoughts back to this room in which you are sitting. And as you gently open your eyes, hold yourself in that beautiful awareness of who you truly are, the light, and allow that light to guide you, to hold you in your inner joy, and to share that with others. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. On behalf of everyone present, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to you, Sister Sibika, for your inspiring presentation on the topic, the attitude of happiness. Your words have reminded us that true happiness is not found in external things, but it is cultivated through our inner attitude, daily habits and thoughts. Your decades of practice and wisdom have shed some light on simple yet powerful ways we can nurture lasting joy in our lives. For example, being grateful, walking in nature. Those two I recall. Thank you for sharing your time, experience, and positive vibrations with us today, this evening. May we all put your guidance into practice and let our attitude show our happiness. So if there was the attitude of happiness, so we have to cultivate that attitude in order to portray the happiness. And it can be measured by how a person sees us, the way how we go about our daily life, our facial
How we see ourselves.
Yes. So thank you once again, and we will always love to have you back with us, sharing these inspirational ideas, especially in this time where we need it, we need that spiritual growth, that spiritual elevation. So thank you very much.
Yes, we all do. We all do. Thank you all very much. Smile. When you smile at the world smiles back at you.
Indeed.